Welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Our King podcast. This is the start of season 2, guys. And on this episode, we decided to dive inside the artist, Neal. He's an artist, a creative fashion designer, and a published author, and also a poet. Since starting his company back in 2013, he has involved in growing as a creator and the artist that he is today. He decided to revamp his clothing line, Neal Clothing, in 2019. He wanted to create a space for others to feel empowered, confident, and beautiful. With his freshman project titled White Privilege, this is where he made a huge shift and hoped to use his platforms that he speak on issues that we face in the day, collectively. Hope you guys enjoy this episode on the Minds with Our King podcast. Stay tuned. This episode of the Minds with Our King podcast is sponsored by my buddy, Jared Nicholson, who's a mortgage advisor at Key Mortgage Group. For you first-time and new home buyers, let me let you in on a secret. Mortgage rates are extremely low, and my buddy Jared is active to educate his borrowers and expose blind spots that they might not even be aware of. Man, this guy's the best option to make your lifetime lender. You can reach him at jnhomeloan.com. I'll say it again, jnhomeloan.com. jnhomeloan.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Our King podcast, season 2, episode 11, first of season 2. I'm up here with my dog, Neal. Say what's up to the people, bro.
What's going on?
This is an Inside the Artist episode, guys. For my people who love this segment, we're going to dive into everything Austin doing in a second. But before we get into that, I want to just shout out my team, my fiance, Sammy, and also Marquis, Vivid Vision Media on the ones and twos behind the camera. To get this content that we put out on the Minds, it wouldn't be possible without those two. They building me up and helping me get through stuff. So shout out y'all for being who y'all are. So now back to you, brother. Inside the Artist, you're the second person up here on this segment. So I know you're going to hold it down. But before everybody get to know who you are and we really unpack you, I like to ask this. I have an icebreaker question, Season 1 was your top 3 people that are alive. Now we switched it up a little bit. What is the best advice someone has ever given you, bro? New icebreaker question.
Yeah, I like that question, actually. Out of all the advice I've been given, I'd say one that I can think of right away would be something my friend Julian told me. He said, if you can't give your gift away for free, it's not really a gift. And what that means, I guess, to me, my gift is art and fashion and all that other stuff that I do. And so if I can't give away that to somebody for free, what are the real reasons why I'm doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's something that I keep in the back of my mind every time I create something. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope because like people with their gifts, they think they got to charge the utmost dollar for it. Yeah. But somebody gave you some advice where like, yeah, you can charge the utmost dollar for it, but can you give it away for free? Wow, I've never looked at anything like that, bro. You actually just helped me right there. Good. Let's go with a quick pandemic check-in, bro. How you feeling during the pandemic? How's everything with your health, your family, and everything?
Yeah, man. Pandemic's been crazy.
Man.
I don't even know where to start. What was it, back in March? When things were we were kind of feeling things out, you know what I mean? And,
when it was coming.
It was coming, but we didn't know that yet. We thought it was going to be over in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that like, okay, give it a couple of weeks, we'll be good.
Yeah.
So actually before the pandemic, I'll bring it back a little bit more. I released a collection of clothing, and this whole project I had was called White Privilege. And for the next 6 months after last December, a year ago, I had something planned each month. So 1 month would be maybe a pop-up. Next month would be an art show. Something would be, and after that would be like a book release or something. And each of those projects were going back to the main title of White Privilege. And so I had things almost for the rest of the year
planned out
perfectly. And then pandemic happened and none of that other stuff happened. I might have put a couple of things back maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When things were supposed to calm down.
Yeah.
Still didn't happen. So I'm still waiting to do those things. But,
to get your hands on those things.
But yeah, I've adapted and overcame. I think to my standards well. I think mentally it's been a struggle for so many people. For myself, I've unpacked a lot of things I didn't know I had to unpack.
Yeah.
And luckily I've had a great community around me
That's
to help me do that. So
That's dope, man. Well, I'm glad to have you here, bro, and glad to shed light on you today, man, because you definitely deserve that celebration. And we're going to get into all those things you was talking about, y'all, so we'll add that context later, I promise. So let's jump inside the artist, man. Let's jump inside you. As an artist, a painter, book writer, and clothing line owner, do you have any other artistry work that we don't know about? If so, please tell us now.
Man, I have a hard time remembering everything I do, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been getting a little bit into photography. I'm not like a professional or anything like that at it.
Yeah.
Just kind of like mainly with film photography.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to see the picture when you take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I hope that looks good after you take it.
You got to go back and analyze it.
Yeah, right. So I'm kind of like tweaking things and, when I get pictures developed and such. But I think that's pretty much it, to be honest.
Before we like unpack all these things you do, can you just talk about the confidence it takes to does all this artwork that you do? Like you do so many different things, bro, and you challenge yourself. Like, where do you get that confidence from? Some people crave that.
I think it goes back to when I'm stagnant or when I'm not being creative, whatever that means. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm not creating, but even within the stagnant season, or if you will, there's still being some sources being created.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Got you. No, yeah, totally.
I don't know. I think that's where it comes from, It's like I'm always creating, even when I'm not creating. So
the reason I asked you that is that I just think I think it's honestly dope, bro, to say that you do so much and you don't even factor in outside opinions. You just do it. Regardless of what anybody else think. Some people can't do that, bro. And that's why I asked you that. I wanted you to open that up because I wanted to dive into you on that.
Absolutely. And that's kind of like, I was pushing myself, especially during the pandemic too, and especially lockdown, for the first couple of weeks or whatever. I was pushing myself to paint a certain way for, maybe a month or two. And that really helped me stretch my artistry skills and my gift, if you will, in that area.
Yeah.
So I think it was just for a lack of things to do because we're all inside, at that point. I'm like, I'm just going to paint for a month straight and see what happens.
Easy.
And then I started writing poems and I'm like, I'm kind of good at this. I'm sending them to my friends and they're like, these are really good, So I'm like, okay, let me try to put together a poem book. And so I put together a poem book, did that.
Let's get into that then. Yeah. Let's get into the book. Sure. You titled it Privilege, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so just open up what that mean to you. Explain the context of this poetry book, Privilege, that you dropped in December, correct?
Yes, sir.
2019, not this December.
No. Almost a year ago, yeah.
But kind of unpack that, bro.
Yeah.
Let us in.
Yeah, so again, going back to that project I did a year ago, titled White Privilege, it was mainly to outline the privilege that I, as a white man in America, have. And then I know a lot of my friends are also white men, and that they might not see their privilege all the time, or even recognize it. And so the main idea behind the book was to bring that to the forefront and say, as a white person, a man or a woman, or even a child, you have a certain privilege that our partner, our neighbors don't have.
I can't imagine the backlash you got from that.
I did get some. It's wild though, because I never really got any directly to me. It was always somebody like a third party telling a friend of mine, and the friend of mine would tell me, I'm like, that's cool, and here's my number if they want to talk. But they never reached out to me. I even had one dude try to drop some scripture on me. He's like, everybody under God's planet is privileged to be here and to be here. For sure.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. You are correct. However, you are incorrect because I don't have to worry about being followed by a cop.
That's dope.
I don't have to worry about anything because of my skin color.
Yeah. The courage it takes to like drop that book, especially as a white man. Like, and you're from the Waukee area, right? If I'm wrong. Okay, yeah. Being from Waukee, and I know a little bit about Waukee and like the culture out there. And it's not saying it's good or bad, but the courage to drop that book is crazy. I couldn't imagine like what you was thinking.
I don't know if
it.
it's necessarily courage. It was mainly to just again bring that privilege to the forefront. Like, I honestly didn't care what anybody had to say about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even my own dad talked to me about it, and he's like, he tried to pretty much bring the same thing up. You're like, we're all privileged.
Privileged in God's eyes.
In
yeah.
God's eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. But when you remember when Kaepernick was kneeling, what were you saying?
Yeah.
Because I remember he was saying, "Get the fuck up."
Yeah. And this and that. Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear.
No, you good. No. It's your show, bro.
Okay.
I promise.
And he's like, get up, and you're disrespecting the military. I'm like, and I'm standing right next to him watching, ESPN talk about him. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, more power to him.
I understand what he's fighting for.
Absolutely. And I don't think he understood fully where he was coming from. So
Shout
I
out
wrote
Cap.
this book. Absolutely. I wrote this book to, again, bring that to the forefront of a lot of white people's minds.
And when I say courage, I mean, it's your words, bro. We can't constrain, like a white person or a black person can't. Any person can't constrain your words or construe your words, bro. So this is your story. You're telling your story, so it's all factuals. Like no matter who believe it or not. But just the courage, because some people won't even do it and they'll know it. That's why I give you a lot of credit on the courage standpoint.
No, I appreciate
but what was the support like, man? I've been talking about like people challenge you. How's the support when you dropped that project, bro?
It's been really cool, honestly, because I have a lot of people that they know me personally.
Yeah.
And they might not dive into that topic by themselves.
Yeah.
But just because they like me or they know me, they're gonna read the book. And that was kind of my a subtle doing of the book was to say, hey, white friends of mine, read
tap
this
in.
book. Yeah. Yep. But it's been cool because some of those friends of mine, they've been saying, this isn't something that I would have gone out of my way to research. I just pretty much get all my facts from the internet, which is very dangerous.
Super. You got to be.
Don't do that.
You got to be leery.
Yes. And they said pretty much the words that you wrote spoke to me, and they opened my eyes up to something that I had no idea that was a thing.
See,
still.
there you go.
I'm like,
that's that impact.
That's exactly why I wrote it.
That's that impact. That was my plan. That was my goal. That's dope, bro. Jumping away from the book Privilege. Also, the book is out on Amazon. We can get it in Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll share the link with this episode. You can order that. Please, all people tap into that book. I feel like it's some good stuff in there. So now, let's dive into the painting now. What inspired you to start painting? How long have you been painting, bro?
I think it was just another creative outlet for me, to be honest. I don't know if anything necessarily sparked me to paint one day, because honestly, when I was back in middle school, we're painting the still lifes or whatever.
Yeah.
The oranges and the bananas.
For sure.
And the vases and all that.
Yeah.
Mine would always come out like wonky and someone crumpled up a piece of paper on it.
I messed up a couple vases too. Don't even worry about it.
Cool. And so I never really thought of myself as an artistic person. So I think, again, just to get my feelings out,
dope.
It was kind of, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start to paint and start to put meaning behind these paintings too. But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy too, because I've, as I've progressed into being an artist or whatever you want to call it, I've researched more artists, about their lives more.
Who are your favorite artists that you look into?
Yeah, man. I've been really researching like Basquiat, Andy Warhol, a lot of local artists too, to be honest. Like I learn a lot from the local talent that we have. Like
who's some of those people?
Yeah. My favorite right now is Robert Moore. That's my guy.
Des Moines guy?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Dope.
Laura Todd, she's amazing at everything she does, almost. those are a couple of my favorites, I think, right now in the city that I can think of real quick. But yeah, I kind of look to everything and anything to inspire what I make. For all the art that I do, and then the clothing and the poetry and stuff like that too.
That's dope, bro. So you say you find a sense of comfort, a sense of peace when you're painting. Like, can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Like, how is that a place for you to run to? Not necessarily run to because you're having fun in it, but how safe is that place feel to you? And like, talk about the comfort level of painting for you.
No, yeah, I would say it's definitely a safe space for me. Because I mean, as men in America, or in just general, men in general, we're told to kind of bottle our feelings and not really be expressive with those feelings. And I was one of those people one of those men that were told that, like, don't cry, man up.
Me too. Same.
Pick yourself up. Which I think in some scenarios, sure, like in sports maybe, like if you get hit by a pitch or something, get up. That's okay to say that, like don't cry, like maybe, but like so I mean, as men, we're told to bottle our feelings pretty much. I'm an emotional person in nature, so so I mean, when I'm painting, sometimes I'll be crying too at the same time.
I honestly find true jealousy in like your comfort and like peaceful. How peaceful you are when you paint, because like the only place I really used to have for that, now that I developed some safe habits like you, only place I could find was just in the gym, basketball. Go work out. Like you didn't play well or somebody in your family died, hit the gym, relieve that pain, which I'm beating my body to death. But for you to just sit and paint and find comfort in it, that's dope, bro. Like you really got, like, in a sense, lucky. Like that's lucky that you found that peace in that.
Yeah, I'm super happy I did, because I mean, like I used to play baseball. I mean, for most of my life, 13, 14 years probably. And so when I'd be mad or I would lose somebody close to me, I'd go back to the hitting cages or
just swing it out,
play catch with somebody and just throw as hard as I can. And so now it's translated that into painting. And so sometimes, when I'm pissed off or when I have lost somebody, I'll paint like I'm pissed off. And you can tell it with some of my paintings that I've done. And then some of them you can tell, okay, he's a little bit calmer here, but it's just a safe space in general for all of my feelings, pretty much. Yeah,
that's super, super important, bro. Just bouncing off hobbies, because I feel like I feel like you're an artist, but when you paint, you don't really feel. You just feel like you're doing it. So, what other like safe hobbies or healthy hobbies that you participate in as an artistry and as on top of everything that you do?
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of my inspiration, like I said, from anything and everything. I'd say a couple other things I do probably to kind of help relax my mind and release those emotions, if you will. I'll meditate.
That's super hard.
Yeah, right. And I used to be like, I want to say probably beginning of 2019. I used to be like super into like the universe and law of attraction, the different laws of the universe and stuff like that. And personally, as I've grown, I've translated a lot of that into my relationship with Christ. And so to answer your question, I read a lot of scripture to kind of help calm myself down and
so much peace in scripture. There's so much peace in scripture. Yeah, it's beautiful, because like something I've been doing recently is kind of like cross-referencing things. And, like one scripture in like Romans, for example, because that's what I'm in right now. Could mean something totally different in the NLT versus what somebody says online or a pastor says online about it. So it's really interesting just getting to know that scripture in depth. But I'd say that's probably the other thing I do. And then obviously, with the life groups I have around me, like my Bible study group, my girlfriend, my family, my close friends, like I can lean on them and talk to them about really whatever I'm going through. So yeah, that's dope. I tell people all the time, the Bible is the best book. Like the stories, like
number one song.
Like if people who like mystery and stories, Bible. Right. If you like Fiction, not nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
Bible, bro. It got it all, bro.
Yeah,
and like
they do.
the Bible is literally the most complete book. I really feel like that. But I find peace in reading my Bible as well. That's part of my morning routine.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's good that you can do that. So Neal Clothing, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like this is your baby. I saved it for last. How long have you been in the clothing line world? Like,
Probably since 2014, I want to say.
you got some years under your belt, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy because I've been doing it for a little while, but I still don't feel like I'm where I want to be.
That's because it don't feel like work for you. You
It
want to
doesn't
keep
really,
proving.
no,
You want to
yeah.
keep moving forward.
Yeah, right. And kind of. So when I started back in 2014, I want to say, so in my junior year of high school, at the time I actually had 3 different companies. 2 of which were clothing companies, and one was a car forum I helped make with a guy in England, actually. And so he operated one over there, and I operated one.
How'd you meet him?
Twitter.
The internet for the win.
Always, yeah. And man, the internet's crazy because it can be used such as a great, amazing tool.
For a fact.
But it can also be the demise of a lot of people.
Oh man, it is, and it is.
It is, right.
It's
Especially
both statements are true.
Yeah, right.
For real.
It's a double-edged sword almost.
Man, gotta be careful.
But yeah, so I met him over Twitter. One of the other companies was a clothing apparel company for like baseball. So I actually started that with a guy in Wisconsin. And then my own brand, I had that middle of junior year, beginning of senior year.
High school?
Yeah.
Dope.
And I knew I like always wanted to be an entrepreneur or whatever. And my girlfriend's gonna watch this, and she hates that word, and so she's gonna probably.
Which one? Entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a go-getter.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I always knew I wanted to be someone that owns my own business, and I never wanted to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Make $1.
That's the mindset.
Somebody else, but. So yeah, I had those companies junior year, my senior year of high school. I got rid of 2 of them, the car one and the baseball clothing.
Yeah.
And pretty much started my own again with Keep On Apparel. And it's supposed to be like simple, like graphic tees and graphic hoodies and all that,
The trendy stuff at the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's still trendy. It's crazy.
Nah, yeah. One of the longest runs.
Yeah,
It's
right.
having one of the longest runs. Keep doing that.
Wow. So I started that, and then my main idea behind that brand was to pretty much get famous.
Yeah.
Off of that, like I watched my show back in the day was Robin Big and R.I.P. Big.
Man, for real.
I can't believe he died.
For real.
But they had a guy that I don't know if he lived there in the factory, in the fantasy factory with them, or he just worked for them. His name was Drama. So he had this brand called Young and Reckless. I'm sure you heard.
Yeah, Young and Reckless. They all through PacSun and
that's the one.
Hot Topic, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, not Hot Topic. Zoomies.
Oh yeah,
That little line of
the
Zoomies.
escape shops or whatever. So he started that brand, and I actually took a lot of what he designed and
A lot of his ideas.
You know what I mean? I borrowed that ideas.
Copyright. No, just
Yeah. So if you're watching this, don't come after me.
Yeah, please don't sue us.
Yeah. And so I was pretty much into it for the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
I
you was trying to get
famous.
rich.
I was trying to get rich. I was trying to get the girls, cars, all that, the houses.
Yeah.
And so when I noticed I wasn't selling much, I sold probably 1 T-shirt in the
Real humbling
matter-
experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It humbled me real quick.
Yeah.
In the matter of probably a year, I sold 1 T-shirt, and then I'm like, okay, that's not working. So I switched it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because I really thought that was what
You thought it was gonna pop.
I'm like, yep, this is it. I'm gonna be famous next week. I got it tatted on my bicep right here, and it's not a thing anymore, obviously. But so in let's say 2018 then. So fast forward from 2015 when I graduated high school with this brand, I'm kind of babying it a lot until 2018. I'm like, okay, I really need to do something again with this.
Let's get it going.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know this is a passion of mine, and I know this is what I want to do with my life.
You just went in for the wrong reasons, or
yeah, exactly. I'm glad I did it at the age I did it too.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, we're immature.
Yeah, that, and I'm made so many mistakes that I haven't made now because I've learned from that. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
for sure.
Fast forward to 2018, I essentially rebranded, and I'm like, okay, what's a name I can figure out what this brand that's going to hold a lot of meaning and a whole lot of weight that people can resonate with. And the only thing I could think of was my last name. So Neal Clothing is kind of how that came out to be. And then now with the renewed mindset was, you know, I'm now making clothes for people that don't feel comfortable in their own skin or want to feel empowered from something that they're wearing.
Yeah.
You know?
And you was kind of telling me about the revamp, like of your whole branding and your whole like thing, and to those topics you just said. What was the thought process behind that? Like, who was the people helping you get to what you was doing in that? Like, cause you did it alone?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I knew a little bit of obviously what I took away from my first
experience, yeah.
and then from watching YouTube videos and interviews with other brand owners or whatever, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Don't kill me.
Don't say that word too loud.
Yeah. And so I pretty much took that and ran with it.
Absolutely.
Most of it was by myself.
Yeah.
Which I don't say that to be like
cocky.
I did this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
self-made.
But when I started to rebrand, I'm like, okay, now I know I cannot do this on myself, by my own, on my own.
That's good.
Whatever. And another piece of advice that was given to me was, don't try to do everything at one time, or don't try to do everything by yourself. And that was probably some don't give me, I can't say this word. Transformative advice.
Transformative, yeah. Good job. You hit it.
And that's when I finally tapped into like different photographers around town, different models, different creatives essentially. So it really just helped me.
Being the right people to put you in the right spot.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. It's about relations, bro. It's all about relation and communication, bro. That's the name of the game. But this one thing I want to get from you for sure, because a lot of people want to create their own brand, bro. Like, especially straight out of high school, kind of like you did. Most of the time, it's a clothing line. What would you say is the hardest part that people don't think about when they get into a clothing line? What would you say that they miss? Like, they just want to get famous.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know there's a lot of hard parts, but what is the hardest?
I would say probably creating a story for the brand. Because really my first go around, I didn't have a story behind anything. So like if Nike, right, like they had the whole story of, you know, the waffle iron and how they started in the garage and stuff like that.
And how they started working with these foreign countries. Have you ever read Shoe Dog?
Of course, yeah.
Shoe Dog is so dope. It's a memoir about Nike and how they started. Bro, Phil Knight's the GOAT, and he deserved everything he got.
For real.
Like, people think that white man was just
look where they are
giving
right now,
that. Man, that white man put that work in, bro.
He for sure did. And
for
now
real.
Billions of dollars.
Shoe Dog's my favorite book. It's crazy you start talking about Nike. That's my favorite book, bro.
So I'd say probably creating the story behind your brand. And you'll need capital. Like I worked a normal job, you know, from the age of 14 to probably 18 or 19.
To put into your brand.
To put into it. And then I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And so I got another job. And I recently quit that a year ago now, before the pandemic. And so, yeah.
Quitting jobs before the pandemic.
Yeah, man.
What are the odds?
Who would have known?
But like the reason I asked that is because like I said before, a lot of people want to do that. And I feel like your story is like a perfect example of that, of learning experience. And the thing is, like you said, create a story. Your answer was to create a story around their brand. A lot of people don't think they're that interesting when they really are.
Oh, yeah. Well, that, and I think a struggle for me, too, was that I'm like, okay, if I do this, it's got to be different from everybody else.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't have to be different from everybody else, because how many Nikes has Nike made? You know what I mean? They're all different in their respect, but how many Air Monarchs have they made?
Come on, bro.
How many pairs has Pete Carroll bought?
Come on, bro. There's got to be you.
They're selling millions probably of dollars from their Monarchs.
Jordan been selling the same shoes for 25, 30 years now.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd say be different. Just say figure out a different way to approach it. And that's kind of how I've managed to get where I am now, I guess, is I haven't really taken a different approach because I know a lot of brands have amazing stories behind the brand.
Dope.
And so, going back to the project I did last year in December, White Privilege, that was kind of the freshman project that I released, under Neal clothing.
Yep.
And so that was like, okay, now I have this story behind my brand, which is as a white man in America, I'm going to be speaking for those people that don't get heard all the time.
Yeah.
Or that don't necessarily have a voice in certain rooms.
That's dope.
I'm going to be that voice for them through this fashion and through my art and my poetry and all that. And so, going from white privilege, I'm like, okay, that was such a heavy topic, and I left it alone all year. And then, of course, I didn't know anything was going to happen with
the Black Lives Matter,
Black Lives Matter, the protests, the rallies.
That movement was crazy.
So people were seeing kind of, when I released everything, they're seeing, okay, sure, I get it. And then everything happened, and they're like, oh, that's what you were talking about. I get it now. And so, bear with me, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, you good. No, you good.
And so now, as the brand owner, like, how do I go from such a heavy topic that I've left alone for a year to help, let it breathe and let it resonate with folks? Where do I go from there? So my next project is going to be titled Education Disparity. And I'm going to be talking about the disparities in schooling systems and the racial injustice and the racism within the schools that a lot of children go through.
And and it's like you adapted it into your story because you living in it, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I say a lot of people don't think their stories are like important, or they don't think their stories are popular, bro. You just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Like people love when you be yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
People would get a kick out of you being yourself.
That really transformed me too. Was like, because when I was starting everything, I'm like, I'm putting on a facade for people, Marky would have had you.
I need some more coffee.
But now it's at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm in the background of everything, behind the scenes of everything. But I'm still going to try to use my platform to the best I can, and for everybody else except myself.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope, man. Last one, I promise. I know this guy's a busy guy. When he got here, he had just finished coming from painting. Yeah. And I know he said he get emotional in this painting. He wasn't crying today.
No,
But last one, brother. Just give some advice to the young professionals out there, bro. Like, what is your best advice to give them? Leave them with something.
I think something I live by, and it's crazy because I told this same piece of advice, so I might sound like a broken record.
Nah, do that. Sometimes for people to get stuff, you got to say it twice.
That's true. So I said this back in my friend's podcast, Phoenix, with Rise Again podcast.
Yeah, man, him gonna be working together soon.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
He's good people, man. But I said, what'd I say? How'd I say it? I said, if you're the smartest in the room, you're probably in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And what that meant for me was everybody around you knows something that you don't. You know what I mean? It could be the homeless man on the corner. It could be the person sitting right next to you. They know something about something that you have no clue about. You know what I mean? Like, how do I know if you're a renowned artist, for example? That's the first thing that came to mind, of course. How would I know that you sold millions and millions of dollars and you know so much about painting unless if I talk to you?
Yeah.
You know? So if you're the smartest in the room, you're acting like, I know everything.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm him.
Yeah, I'm him. I'm that dude. My stuff don't stink.
Right. And that's very dangerous, I think, for a lot of creatives especially. Because there's no room for growth right there.
That's dope.
And so when you humble yourself, you take yourself out of that room or out of that role and position even of knowing everything or being that smartest person in the room, you're opening yourself, you're opening up your own growth to the possibilities of what people know. I've learned so much this year just from having a conversation with people.
Yeah. So there it is. Be a sponge.
Yeah.
Don't come into things like you got it figured out. Y'all people heard it from my man Austin. Yeah. Appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
Thank you.
Inside the Artist. Guest number 2, man. I'm glad they sit up here and do this with you and unpack you. We really appreciate. I know we got a lot to take from you, but Keep doing what you're doing, man. You always have us in your corner. The book is out. It's on Amazon. We're going to get you patched in. We're going to have that link in the description so everybody able to get that. But anything else for him? That's it?
I don't think so.
Let's get all set then.
Yeah.
That wraps up another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. Y'all be back with us, please. Peace.